All right, hey, welcome everyone. And I just wanted to go through a quick little update on the Person Algo Optimizer. This is the 5 minute um, system, and this takes longs and shorts. And as you can see, it had a couple trades this morning pre-session. Now, it doesn't take any trades prior to this, and it'll stop taking trades after 3:30. And of course, we've just entered into a new short position. What has it done today? Well, a couple things in our live trading room that I wanted to point out to you is that right before the 12 o'clock or lunch hour, the market did have a breakdown and took a short position. And what is this? This particular strategy gets out at profit targets, which is the blue line, and then it trails the position until it gets out or a new signal is generated. And as you can see, this took a short position today, not a bad trade. Wasn't much going on here first thing in the morning as we got into the open outcry session as we started the market. It wasn't really doing a whole lot. It was sideways. It had a buy signal, which it didn't take. It had a sell signal. And it wasn't until it really broke down of this move that it took the criteria sell signals. Now, if the market continued to go down, and I mean if it really fell, then it would have been nice to have a trailing stop function and then be in half the position. So that's why we have it set like this just in case. Now, what's unique is though, we have a volume indicator in our lifetime package. Most of you that have the VIP package will understand this volume indicator right here. Unlike the on balance volume, it really did give a great setup. Why? I'll share with you that in just a quick second. First thing I want to really focus in on is this bullish convergence. But I guess, in addition to that, a couple little things that I like to look at when trading and saying, when do I like trades, when do I not like trades? I mean, this particular setup that we're currently in, selling short the market, says low close doji. It's not after a rally, but it did break down. So, it's late in the afternoon. We got the Dow breaking down, and here's another one of my probably stronger indication that I'm all right with this particular short position right now in the ES is we've had all afternoon to kind of rally out of this high area in here. We had resistance there, the profit target, the resistance. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's kind of sat around. It's late in the day. If anyone was buying, they probably expect the market to go up. And as the time starts to tick-tock away and then we start to lose daylight savings time in day trades, people start liquidating. I more than likely am not going to hold this position into the overnight session. There's earnings coming out today and definitely tomorrow, folks. But here's another thing is that the volume started to weaken. As the price started to go up, look at the corresponding volume. It started to go down. So it was starting to show relative weakness. There wasn't a strong accumulation of positioning in this move. I'm glad it did what it did. These are really nice trades. I'm sure you can appreciate this. Look at the power of this. If you have a buy signal and you get long and it gets out at the profit target and the market trades through that profit target, I don't know if it's going to break out and go, but wouldn't you want to have half off and then scale the balance? And that's what it did. And it got out. It did its job. Same thing on the downside, did the same thing to the upside. So I don't know which trade is going to work or not. That's the whole part of trading and why we scale out of trades, right? We don't know when is that real big kahuna coming. One thing that we do know of when the big kahuna or when a reaction can happen is if we have a market that makes maybe newer lows on the day, as it did here, and I'm circling the newer lows on the day, and when a price action shows newer lows, but we get volume analysis that makes higher lows. You know what a term for that is called bullish convergence. And I like to see that condition of the market. That's what I teach my traders, and that's part of what we use, the philosophy in our fund. And as you can see, as this market's starting to move down, gang, the volume's not picking up. So it's showing that there's actual negative momentum. Now let's go over here, and I'm going to go to Format Analysis Technique real quick. And I'm going to turn on balance volume. A lot of you are familiar with this because I helped repopularize this tool way back in the, 2008, 9, 10 at a lot of the conferences and through Thinkorswim and Trade Navigator, and went on the road and gave a lot of different presentations. We developed a different way of looking at volume rather than in relative terms of actual changes in net volume. And as you can clearly see, I think a lot of people volume's getting really weird with the way computerization trading is taking place. But this volume indicator is just the power behind it, is it helps to demonstrate, even from a MACD diffuser component, you can clearly see that as the price was going down, the diffuser was showing lighter, or at least less prominence of selling pressure in the volume through a maybe series of moving averages. And so from this point to that point was a pretty strong volume move. And from this point to that point was a lesser volume move. And that's why it shows up in this indicator. This is available, all you guys that have the Person Lifetime Package and your VIP clients. You have the volume indicator, and this is exactly what I use it for. I told you about this particular setup in the live trading room today, and that was the trade. In fact, the funny thing is I was saying, hey, the system was long, it's out of one, and it's trailing a stop. And no sooner do I give this whole thing about it's still long, because the volume gave a bullish bias to the upside, the system knocked out the second half. So if you were in the live trading room today, I promised I would do a quick video on this, and that's the trade. That's the difference between the person volume indicator and the on-balance volume indicator. We are seeing this more and more. I don't know what we caught on to, but we had actually programmed this for my own trading and definitely have come up with something very unique. And it's a kind of a hybrid way of looking. I didn't invent volume, as you know. I didn't invent on-balance volume, as you know. But I think what we have done is we've created an indicator that is using volume, but it measures volume in a different content. And what it does, it actually shows the convergences. So if you believe in volume convergences, this is powerful. And it'll help you to know, you know what, if I'm allergic to that trade, maybe I should take that trade. And besides, it broke out of, let's take a look at some other things that occurred with this little long position, right? So if we go over here and we say, well, what was going right with this trade? Let's examine this and bring this up to speed. Let's look at what was going right with this trade. It had these gray lines. There's one and there's two, and it closed greater than the gray line. And then what did it do? It made something unique. It started to make a higher high and a higher low. So it confirmed on the entry that the market was breaking out. The volume, even on balance volume at that point in time, was building a little bullish story, so to speak. But it was the momentum behind the person's volume indicator that says, yeah, this is good. This could go somewhere. And it did. It was a nice trade. I mean, unfortunately, the market really didn't. I mean, most of us back last October in 2017, when we had a 9-handle average true range. I mean, this goes from 3.5 to almost, as you can see, 12. I mean, that was like the entire daily ranges that we were getting back in October of 2017, and that wasn't even a year ago. So long and short of it is a nice trade, and then, you know, it scaled out and it allowed the trade to do its job. So nice little trade set up there. As far as this particular short right now, it's, you know, flat up a tick. It's not really doing much, but you know what? I'd much rather in this situation be on the short side than the long side in the last final minutes or the last, let's say, half hour of the day. We'll more than likely just exit this trade, but the volume analysis suggested it wasn't looking as healthy, and therefore we have a short. Why won't I take a short this time of the year into the close and hold it into the Globex session? Earnings. That's why. And so with that said, I'll most likely override this short position and just call it a day. But still, nice trade setups, way to scale out. Nice trade setups, way to scale out. And that's the ES Person Algo Optimizer program, and how we use it in combination with maybe filtering out better trades using the person volume indicator. Hope that helped clear things up. And boy, it's great to be back here in the saddle here in our office in Florida. Not saying we didn't enjoy the ride that we had for our 2-week road trip. Columbus, Ohio, Chicago at the CME, then the Traders Expo, and with all our friends and family members at Thinkorswim, and a big shout out to JJ and again Frankie Walsh. Many of you know Frank. Really great hosts, and again all my friends at TradeStation that took care of us, and we really had a good time in Chicago. Lastly, Vegas, our user group out there. Nice to see you guys. And then again, the folks, a shout out to our third home away from home, MGM. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. And if I see something else that I think is important, I'll certainly do another YouTube update. Bye-bye.